Hello, Bill Martin here. Art 317, second module. Um, I've shot all my 30 shots for the contact sheets, printed them out, sliced them all up, moved them around, and I'm showing you what I've got. I've done this kind of thing before. I use, not exactly like this, but I use contact sheets in photography in my artwork. So I'm just going to sort of scan across what I've got so you can kind of get an idea of what I have. And I've organized them a bit. I really enjoyed doing the organizing, and I think that I will work with that some more because I've found a lot of surprising corollaries. But I'm not going to bother you with all that right now. Just be something that I can do later on. Okay, so there we go. There's my 30 images. Um, I like the image quality on a lot of them. Some of them worked. Some of them came out of the camera really well. There's a few that are rough. I don't worry too much about that. My challenge was getting enough good images in a short period of time, and then having to deal with that 250 shot contact sheet. That was a booger, and there was a lot of reading and videos and things like that to watch. So those were my challenges this week. I feel like I handled them fairly well. Um, so these are the choices. I mean, I made choices about images that I wanted. I wanted to have a lot of different kinds of images. I realized I don't have many pictures of people. I don't shoot a lot of pictures of people. I don't feel like inflicting my um, shabby photography skills on my friends and family, basically. So um, I suppose I probably ought to do a little bit more of that. But anyway, that's one thing that is a surprising choice for me. Um, I did discover that these pictures, now that I'm looking at them, a lot of these pictures hold um, a whole lot of emotion for me. And these are pictures of my life, right, basically right now, and some of them are very poignant to me, even though they don't seem like they are necessarily to you. My friend Vic makes totem poles, and this was a big totem pole that he's working on, and he installs them and goes back and does it again. He uses the old Indian tools. I'm very impressed with Vic. I really love him, and he was nice enough to let me come and spend some time in his shop. I put that one next to this, which is at one of the schools. They had a they created an area for some God, what kind of a bird was it? It was just a huge bird that was landing on the lights, and in order to get the bird off the lights, they created this thing, and the birds come every time that they're it's not eagles, but it's some huge bird. It's the name's eluded me. This is Romeo. He's a wonderful horse. A friend of mine owns him, and he's got a great sense of humor, as you can probably tell by that photograph. I've photographed and painted him quite often. Um, so I have a lot. I work at a school district. I work in the mechanical section mostly, and so I have an opportunity to spend some time in some of the mechanical areas of schools, places that people don't normally see. So there's a lot of that. And I found a lot of interesting, I think I just found a lot of interesting images and imagery in that work. Here's a few pieces at my house, a bunch of photos of my wife's shoes. This is an interesting piece. This is an old piece of flooring that I found as I was creating a pantry underneath our stairs, and it's a long story, but it actually proves that the second floor of my 130-year-old house was built after the first floor. So that's interesting for me, probably not for anybody else. This is a really interesting one. This is probably my favorite piece because it has a story. Doesn't look like much, but there was a teacher that was injured here in a very bad accident, and I won't get into that, but I hadn't actually been to the place until just last week, and I realized as soon as I got there that this was the place that happened, because I had seen pictures, And anyway, it was a terrible accident. She finally recovered. It took years and years. And so this place, when I got there, it was very quiet. There was nobody around. I'm way up in this mechanical loft, and I could just, I wouldn't say it's haunted necessarily, but I felt the energy. It was energy that I brought to the place, and it came across to me in the picture, and it's coming across to me right now. So to have such emotion attached to such an ordinary picture is a real surprise to me, and this is probably the biggest surprise of the whole experience. So not a very happy note, but I'll leave you on a happier note. This is my 6-month-old Greyhound puppy. Her name is Ella, and she likes to sit at the top of the stairs and stare at me. So anyway, thanks a lot for indulging me, and I hope that I haven't rambled on too long.